Okay, greetings. Happy Friday, everyone. It's May 15th, 2026. This is the State Building Co-Council Executive Committee. Can we try to take roll, please?
Todd Bayreuther,
Here.
Jay Arnold,
Here.
Ben O'Mara,
Here.
Roger Haringa,
Here.
and Tom Handy. I do not see, but we do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. And we'll take anyone from the public that would like to be recognized. Corey.
Hi, Todd. Corey Shaw, Washington Aggregate and Concrete Association. I'm here for item number 4 and to just verbalize that we will be submitting comments to the embodied carbon proposal that's moving.
Okay, thank you, Corey. Let's go with Ken.
Ken Brulette, Seattle Fire Department, representing the Fire Marshal's Office.
Thank you, Ken. Patrick.
Yes, thank you. This is Patrick Hanks with the Building Industry Association of Washington. Happy Friday, everybody.
Thank you. I think that's it. Okay, let's go to item 2 to review and approve the agenda. Could we hear a motion to approve, please?
So moved, Jay.
Second, Roger.
Thank you, Jane. Roger. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Item 3, review and approve the minutes for April 3rd. On the screen, could we please hear a motion to approve?
So moved. This is Roger.
Second, Jay.
Okay. Anyone see any edits? Okay, if not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, item 3. I'll wait for it to come back up. I'm sorry, item 4. Okay, jumping into the schedule adjustments. Dustin, I think you've presented online, showed a couple of things, so I'll hand it to you to walk us through it, please.
All right, so I'm updating the screen share to show our most recent filing with the code revisor to update our schedule. The schedule revisions are needed for a couple of reasons. Primarily the first one for the BFRW and MBPE committees in June and July. Those weeks that you see there are the weeks where we will be having our hearings for the codes. So in June, that first week, we have our codes hearings on June 10th and 12th. The 10th hearing will be in Olympia, and in the 12th will be in Spokane Valley. And the reason we needed to reschedule, like right now, I don't have a bunch of topics for the BFRW or MBPE committee expected at that time. But we have our next agenda item requires us to have some more meeting for the BFRW to bring the petition across the line in time with the APA. So for June, the BFRW MVP the BFRW is rescheduled to June 17th, the week after. Coordinated with Roger on that one to make sure that date works for him. And since there's no business anticipated for the MVPE at this time, that one's canceled. If something pops up, we can always reschedule a special meeting on that one. For the July BFRW and MVPE committees, they're just outright canceled. We're not anticipating stuff to pop up, but like with the June meetings, if there is a need to have those meetings, we can schedule them as special meetings and get them on there. The other changes to this one occur in August. I had something pop up on my schedule that's going to prevent me from being available for the August 21st council meeting. And that is also a date that we're targeting for final adoption of our codes or of a set of codes. The energy codes and the other not energy codes are kind of separated again. But in August, we're planning on doing a final adoption. And so that week of August 21st, I won't be available. So we're pushing that out 1 week. And then later on in the year in September, we had some other staff schedule issues that we want to make sure we're available for. And so we pushed the BFRW and MVPE committees out 1 week in September. And that pushes the rest of that month's meetings out 1 week as well. So committee meetings in September are pushed out a week, as well as the council meeting. And those are all the changes that we're bringing forward. The reason this is filed before we had this meeting is to make sure we had it all planned out to have these changes in place in accordance with the OPMA in time to have the regular meetings rescheduled with 20 days notice of publication within the code revisor. And so we got that done. This was filed along with our CR 102s or the filing deadline was the 6th. These actually hit the code revisor on the 5th. And so that's where we're at. And if we needed to make a change or this committee wanted to make a change, we can still do that. But anything that's happening in June, if we needed to make a change there, we'd have to cancel those meetings and reschedule as special meetings.
Okay, thank you, Dustin. Any council questions first before we go to Corey? Go ahead, Ben.
Thanks, Todd. Dustin, just to clarify, how are the public hearings? What type of meeting are they classified under? Are they special meetings, or is it like a different category?
Well, honestly hadn't considered that question before, but as scheduled right now, they would be considered as a special meeting. So they haven't ever been included on the meeting schedules that are filed with the code revisor. And with the way they've been moving around for targets, we didn't have a good way to anticipate those. So I would characterize them as special meetings now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, just confirming that. That's why we don't see them on this list here.
Correct.
Thanks.
Okay, Jay.
Dustin, this moves a number of meetings to the last Friday of the month versus the typical rotation. And so I'm wondering if this document could get sent to the full council as well. There's some things I can bounce around. There's one meeting I'm not going to be able to make. So
Okay.
I just want to make sure there aren't other conflicts where we can identify any quorum issues. Thank you.
I can definitely make sure that happens.
Okay, thank you, Jay. Corey, you did say you wanted to speak on this, right?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for the public's participation on these June meetings, or the June 10th and 12th. I think my question was, one, is public going to be able to participate and ask questions? And two, do we have to have submitted written comments in order to participate in those meetings?
And just to clarify, your June 10th and 12th are the two public hearings.
Yes, yes.
So yes, the public will be able to participate. As far as asking questions of the council, that's not the intent of the hearings. The intent there is for you to deliver comments to the council to then at a later date deliberate and make responses to. In order to participate in the hearings, you don't have to sign up. You don't have to provide written testimony. I do encourage, if you are going to participate in delivering oral testimony, to sign up. It'll make the way we are calling names out a lot easier, and we'll be able to share that on the screen. And if you had any sort of script you were going to be reading, I would also encourage to deliver that via email to the SBCC staff. It'll make it easier when we're doing our transcript for these hearings as well. So there's no bar on public participation, but it's not an interaction with the council per se. It's a delivery of the testimony, and then the council will deliberate on those testimonies received at a later date.
And Corey, is part of your question just to make sure that we've all stated that public or written and oral testimony has equal weight, but nothing prevents you from bringing both forward.
Correct.
Okay, great. Could I have a quick follow-up?
Please, of course.
So is there a sign up that's going to be online or will that be physically? I guess is the meeting physical and will there be sign up sheets online?
So the sign up sheet is linked on our homepage. So there's a new news blurb there on our homepage. There's a link to our sign up sheet for testimony there. It's also linked in our forms drop down menu. If you go to here, maybe it'll be helpful if I just show where these are located online for this meeting. Let me pop this open real quick. So this is the SBCC homepage. In our announcements, we have the announcement for the code filings here. And embedded here, I can't make this pop out a little bit better, but we have the testimony sign up form here in the second paragraph. If you click this link, it'll take you to our spot where this form's located. This form's also located here in the State Codes, Regulations, and Guidelines tab in the Forms section here. And you would find it, if it loads fast for me, in the code change section. We have the public comment sign up sheet.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then as far as the meetings, they are going to be hybrid meetings. So there's going to be an online option for both of these. And so you don't have to attend in person to deliver oral comments.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dustin, yeah, I was going to say, if we can go back to the schedule, I think it's also just useful to keep repeating in these public meetings what the schedule is. So we're going to have these hearings on these 2 days, and then can you point to the meetings where the council will workshop based on the testimony?
So we have several opportunities where we can workshop it. We can talk about these things at the BFRW committee. We can talk about it at the council. We don't have specific there right now. The only one that would be specifically targeted for deliberation would be the September 18th council meeting and September 18th council meeting and the October council meetings for deliberation. I feel like I'm getting that wrong. Hold on. Sorry, it's the August and the September council meetings. And then we're trying to make that final determination at the September council meeting for everything but the energy codes. And then in October council meeting, we'd be looking to make movement on the energy codes. There is an option for additional workshop meetings to be scheduled, but that was kind of alluded to in previous conversations when we were talking about the schedule and the comment periods earlier in the year and making sure that there's room for additional council engagement there. But we don't have all the specific meetings that I think we might be having for the deliberation on comments on this schedule as a regular meeting. There'll be special meetings.
Okay. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, just to clarify, and I think for Corey as well. So really the August 28th council meeting, if there were, we can certainly anticipate we will deliberate public comment, but if there is a desire of the council to send a particular partition back to a tag, for instance, that would then have to happen between the August 28th and the September 25th council meetings. Is that correct?
Well, Roger, I think it's a good point to talk about. So maybe Dustin first, can you just walk everyone through what public comment period is open right now?
So right now, the public comment period is open for the International Building Code and existing building code. Then there's also open for the residential code, the mechanical code and fuel gas code, the fire code, and the uniform plumbing code. The WUI code is not undergoing any sort of rulemaking right now. And the only other codes that are out there are the energy code for commercial and residential. And those ones
Okay.
are not open for comment.
But I guess to answer Roger's question, that means public comment can come in now.
Oh, yes, we're already receiving it.
Yeah. And so Corey, if we can use you as an example, if that's okay, do you want to talk about your intent that you had mentioned?
Oh, yeah. So we have comments prepared for the R4118, which is the embodied carbon proposal. And then I guess the secondary proposal that came out of that, which is the whole building LCA proposal. We have comments prepared for those two CR 102. I guess they're in the CR 102 process or 103, but we have those comments prepared. So what I wanted to do was provide them to the council ahead of time.
Yep.
And then be available to answer any questions and have my members available to answer any questions of if the council has any on the 10th of June if we need to be, and or some of these other meetings, the follow-up meetings. So we'll be present to follow up with our comments if you need clarification.
Okay, I'm glad we're talking about this. That's helpful, Corey. I think point number one is we can receive those at any time, right? The window's open.
Correct.
But maybe what we need to clarify is that in the hearing is I don't believe, in my understanding, and we can clarify this, that we're not deliberating or even necessarily questioning at that, right? I mean, if anyone feels differently about that, let's talk about it now. But that was my intent on the hearing, that we're receiving testimony, not that wasn't the forum to have questioning and discussion. Go ahead,
That is
Roger.
the intent
Yeah.
of how we're going to run them, yeah.
Okay.
Todd, that again, to clarify for Corey, the anytime in the 60 days public comment can be submitted, whether that is outside of the hearing dates or at the hearing dates. After those close, then on the August 28th council meeting is when the council will first take a look at, all right, here's all the thousands of comments we heard on all of the various proposals, and make a determination. We may, I don't know, that's the meeting that we will then consider, what's the best process for us to interact with the public to try to resolve comments.
Yep. And I think it's and correct me if I'm wrong, but we do not close the record at the hearings. The window is still open for written testimony, for a period after that. Is that correct, Dustin?
That's incorrect. Come 5 p.m. or no, we're going to call it at midnight on the day of the hearing or the last
Yep.
hearing. Will be the deadline for written testimony. If we did not close that window and we continue to receive the testimony, like anything that we receive during the public comment period, we have to respond to, even if it's not requesting any changes or anything like that. And that goes into our final rulemaking with a concise explanatory statement on what the final rules are. And so we need to have a finite window for comment to come in. That doesn't mean we can't talk about it when we're deliberating the council's response, but we can't take any more
Yeah.
official comment to add to that record.
Okay, I'm glad I said that out loud then. So just to be clear, is that posted or can it be on our website to just very clearly state that?
I do believe it is on there. I will double check. It may not be on the news blurb there. I do believe it's in the CR 102, and I'll take a peek at some other places, but I
Okay.
do believe it's in there. As far as when the comment period closes is
Okay.
midnight on the day of the last hearing.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of chime in. So on your blurb that you have for the 2024 codes, the first paragraph references like the codes that are open for comment from May 6th through June 12th. And then the second one talks about the energy code, which is June 3rd to the 17th. But there's only one link. So it almost looks like we're only allowed to sign up for testimony on the second set of the June 3rd through the 17th, the energy code.
I
So
can
I
get
just
that
want
revised for you.
okay, because that I'm just trying to get my membership communicated to, and so that was some of our concern and questions there.
Yeah, I'll make sure that the link for signing up for testimony is more conspicuous than embedded in there. I didn't realize it appeared that way, so I'll get it
Thank you.
taken care of.
Okay. All good discussion. Okay, anything else from council or committee or public? Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, I want to clarify. I see that it says that the energy code is being targeted for final adoption on September 25th, but I thought I heard Dustin say October, so I just wanted to see which one is intended to be the final adoption date.
Let's give me one moment here to pull this up.
I think Dustin too, it'd be helpful. Sorry to jump in, but it'd be helpful too, because I thought I heard that council's going to open up deliberation on the 28th of August for some of this, but it says on the website that that's the final adoption date. So is there going to be any room for some dialogue between the SBCC and the commentators through this process? Or are we just talking at you and then we're done?
There's going to be room for some dialogue, but it's going to happen at the work sessions that occur after the hearings before that final adoption date.
Okay, so between June, for us, it'll be between June and August.
Correct.
Okay,
And so
thanks.
we're likely to see some other meetings come up onto the website or onto, we need some more meetings to actually cover those work sessions. And
And right now, Dustin, you're looking up the final deliberation on energy codes. That's Patrick's question, correct?
yeah, so I mean, essentially right now it's out 1 month from what the codes are that are open right now. So um, it should be September instead of October. Specific dates are eluding me at the moment, and I'm trying to
But
pop open.
it's the September council meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you
But
for
it'd be
clarifying that,
September.
Patrick, because I think you're right. I think maybe we heard October, but
To Corey's point, and it sounds like you're going to fix it, but because if I'm correct, you're not accepting public comments on the energy code at the original June hearing dates. But
So
but
we
by
are,
having the form linked underneath that paragraph, it seems like you're accepting public. It can be read that you're accepting public comment for all the codes. And I'm assuming you do not want public comment for the energy code coming in June at the June hearings. So I think if you move that link up, it'll make it clear that you're just looking for public comment from the non-energy codes in June. And then
yeah,
there'll be a separate hearing for the energy codes.
we'll definitely be getting that on there, or getting that fixed so it's more clear that what we got going on. But we throughout the whole code process, we received comments that, after we made the motion to file for CR 102, we started receiving comments. So we don't trash those or not include them. So anything that comes in really outside of the window up until the close of the window, we're including. But I do agree we're going to get the link be more conspicuous and more specific about what we're looking for. But we are starting to receive comments on the energy codes as well right now, but they won't be brought at the hearing in June. If we might see some people who sign up for testimony and want to give testimony on the energy codes at that time, we may stop them. But if there's dead air, we can also allow some of those comments to occur. But it makes it a little bit more difficult to get the transcripts and concise explanatory statement documents prepped for deliberation.
If you allow it for some, it may confuse, and then if you stop accepting it, some people may get frustrated. So I'd recommend just being clear that no public comments on the energy code in June.
Okay.
yeah, I agree. It's probably cleaner. Okay, let's go to Jay. Thank you, Patrick.
Do we have dates or tentative dates set for public hearings on the energy code? I'm not seeing
Yes.
anything on the calendar.
So it should be on our website now, but because we have not filed those yet, we got everything staged to get those on. So the only place that's indicated right now is on our website. You'll see there's some hearings that have popped up on the future meetings in July, and we have the venues set for those and reserved. But until we make the filing, I guess we don't have anything. We haven't put out any gov delivery on that or anything like that. This is just kind of staging it, and once we make the filings, that'll be set in stone.
Okay. Ben.
Thanks, Todd. I guess going back to what Patrick had mentioned, I think the testimony sign-up form could be improved to identify either the date and or the code the petitioner is wanting to discuss, and that would help identify those. I don't see what that has to do with submitting any testimony. However, So I feel like I wouldn't close down like receiving testimony for energy code at this point.
Not
Or
written testimony. I think Patrick's suggestion is for oral testimony at those hearings.
right. So yeah, I think yeah, if you have a single form identifying like which codes or which hearing that they're wanting to participate in.
Okay.
Those dates will be set pretty soon, right?
Yes.
So then we can just be really clear on the website when to testify.
And like right now, it's targeted at July 14th and July 17th.
Okay. We'll color code them. Okay, any other discussion on this item? It says we have action on it. Are we making a motion to go ahead, Patrick? But are we going to make a motion to accept these?
If you want, I had it on there
Already
for
filed.
action. If yeah, it's already filed. I had it on here for action. If there's any issues that the committee wanted to
Okay.
change, and we'd have to refile, but no actions needed.
Okay, let's take a comment from Patrick first.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've been the primary one bringing up the rescheduling and not doing that properly. So I appreciate that you've taken steps to improve that and schedule that out. As a stakeholder, where my primary job is to attend your meetings and represent the residential construction industry, I kind of have to schedule everything around your regular meetings. So it's nice having advance notice that things are going to get change ups, so that I can make sure that I'm here and getting the feedback that you need. So just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. And obviously following, the special meeting versus the regular meeting, it just adds a layer of complexity that can get confusing. So it's worth talking it through in public meetings here and making sure everyone understands what's happening. So go ahead, Corey.
I just wanted to echo Patrick's comments and thank you guys for hearing us out today and clarifying some of that stuff. So thank you.
No, it is helpful for you. Thank you for helpful for us too. Thank you for participating. Okay, any action needed then on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Received. Thank you. Item 5 then is a petition. So we'll give it back to you, Dustin, when you're ready.
So the main reason that this is on here today is to talk about how it impacts our schedules and what the plan is to address this petition. We received, I don't know, somewhere in the range of 50 to 60 individual messages from different food truck owners to address a code section in the fire code. It's section 319.10.3, which talks about maintenance for the gas systems on food trucks. And the issue that's being presented is that there is a perceived lack of services able to do the inspections required to comply with this section in the fire code. And so after we received the bulk of the general emails, I reached out to the group of folks, asked them to identify a spokesperson and to submit the form that I have on the screen now. So we have the Washington State Food Truck Association submitting a petition for rulemaking because there's a lack of service providers for providing the systems. I'm working with them. They've developed a emergency statement here as well, and I have provided them with a draft of what they're asking for might look like in code language, but I haven't heard back from them that they accept what that draft language might look like. And so the plan for this is to, in this next month, we're going to go to or here next week, we'll be going to the BFRW to introduce this. And then after that, we'll have the council meeting where this is introduced again to the council. And we have a statutory requirement that we can't act on the petition at that first council meeting. So then over the next month, we're going to go back to the BFRW in June on the 17th to deliberate with that group to make a recommendation on this. And then on the June council meeting on the 26th, we need to take action on this to accept and initiate emergency rulemaking, deny outright, or provide an alternate means for addressing their concerns. The due date for getting a response back from the council will happen on the 27th. So after this meeting is the last time that we can get the council to take action on it that's within the confines of the statutory requirement to respond in 60 days. And so the reason this is on here is just to flag it for a heads up to let everybody know that we got a petition that's running the route, and we got several folks engaged on the petitioner side. We got the council starting to talk about this. I've been engaging with Dan Young on this to talk about the fire service needs or concerns. And so I anticipate to have nice discussions at the committee meetings and council meetings, and come through at the end of this with a pretty solid perspective on what the ask is and what the council intends to do.
Okay. Go ahead, Ben.
Thanks. And I guess looking into this, Dustin, my understanding of this is a provision that was added to the model code in the 2018 code
Correct.
cycle. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I guess like as we're looking at our capacity for staff and everything, I'm curious why this is coming up as an emergency petition now at this kind of critical juncture. And I know Ken's on the call, so maybe we can get some more feedback, but and else I can save these comments for our council deliberations, but just curious why it's coming up, and if it's a model code provision, how other jurisdictions and states are dealing with this. So I'm yeah, just very curious why it's kind of popped up at this moment. Thanks.
So the main reason it's on our schedule right now is because once we receive a petition, that form, we have to respond, and we have 60 days to do so. And so as we started getting the emails, and we started getting multiples of the same email that says the exact same thing, I reached out to them and let them know that this is not a new requirement. What changed is there's a checklist that is used by fire marshals across the state to identify what needs to be done for food trucks. And the checklist was updated, and the requirement that was added in the 2018 model code was added to this checklist. And now they are under the impression that it's a new requirement, but it's a 2018 model code change. And so it's just here, it's unfortunate timing is really where it's at. We responded and said, hey, if I'm not doing anything based on your emails, if you want us to address your concern, we need to get an official petition form. And they were very quick to get us a petition form and start the process officially.
Okay. So we're obligated at this point, regardless of the content, to bring it forward to the council
Correct.
for action.
And
Go ahead,
yeah,
Roger.
totally understand that. So I understand the emergency.
But no, I appreciate the
action.
question. I had the same question, so thank you. Go ahead, Roger.
Another question that I have is their request is to change how it is enforced, not to change the requirement necessarily, or at least that's kind of what I'm reading. And I am wondering, does the SBCC really have any say over how or what gets enforced?
I would say that there's precedence in the I want to say fire code, it might be the building code, but for like the NICET licensing of pre-engineered fire systems, we had a delay in the effective date for that licensing requirement to allow for more folks to be licensed in the state before the requirement was hard set. So I think there is a pathway, and I'm just not sure what the final look might be of that. But I want to engage with these folks and have them provide or propose what they are asking for, and we can respond to that.
Dustin, what I think we're hearing you say is it would take rulemaking to delay implementation.
Yes.
That'd be one of the actions. Okay. Okay. Does that answer it, Roger? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for asking that. I'm glad you did. Go ahead, Ben.
Sorry, just I guess a technical question on that. If it's already part of the 2018 model code, would delaying the implementation of the 2021 statute change the rule on the books, or I guess how would that
So
get what they're seeking?
it wouldn't change what's been in effect across the state since the 2018 code effective date. What a emergency rule might get them is a relaxation on the requirement moving forward. There's a couple issues with rulemaking on this right now. That right now we don't have any um, rulemaking going on this section. So if, we file our CR 102, the conflict with the code revisor having overlapping rulemaking documents isn't present for this. The issues that arise if this was to go to emergency rule, like emergency rules are only pathway for this right now. We have in statute that we can only do substantive updates once every 3 years. We can do an update to address errata and omissions 12 months after effective date and has to conclude 18 months after that effective date. And we're outside of those windows for this type of rulemaking. And so if we file an emergency rule, we then have to worry about carrying it through to the 2024 code, which also doesn't have this rule changed in it. So in order to refile an emergency rule after 120 days, we have to have permanent rulemaking underway. So we'd have to file a CR 101 and get ready to do the permanent rulemaking and carry an emergency rule through till the implementation date of the 2024 codes, and then also complete another rulemaking permanent for that. And there's some other pathways for that to go, but it's a little bit of a headache to keep carrying that emergency rule
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, again, with no comment on the merits of this proposal, we've been here before. It opens up wormholes that we can navigate and we have in the past, but it gets complicated quickly. Okay, thank you for that, Dustin. Is that sufficient for everyone to understand this is coming forward? Okay. Make sure any public comment. Go ahead, Ken.
I didn't know if the proponent was online and wanted to speak first or not.
Well, I mean, we can speak to the merits of it. I mean, if you'd like, of course, we can keep that open. I was treating this more as preparing as the executive committee, preparing that this procedurally is coming into the council. But
Okay.
if
Yeah,
you'd like to speak to the merits of it, we can have that, and that you think it's relevant to prep the council, absolutely, please.
sure. Sure. Yeah, we just want to clarify some stuff. So,
Yeah.
Ben's right, and it was brought up that it has been in the 2018 code. It's in the 2021 model code. It's in the 2024 model code and the 2027. There was no proposed changes at the national code hearing. So we have not seen any reason to postpone the implementation of a section that's already involved. The Seattle Fire Marshal's Office did conduct a survey. We do feel that it is adequate. There's enough vendors adequately out there right now to be able to provide that service. So again, I mean, we did a review of the access to service providers and found it was possible to conduct this type of inspection, and Seattle will continue to enforce that type of section. I do have Deputy Chief Shada Stevenson on this call too, because it was referenced that the assistant fire marshal, which he fills that role within the fire marshal's office, made a comment that he agreed with the petition, and that is not necessarily true. So I just wanted to give him an opportunity to speak also, if he'd like to. But
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that, Ken. That is helpful. Debbie Stevenson, would you like to go ahead, please?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, awesome. Lori actually quoted me, and it was that was just a temporary arrangement as we were getting feedback from customers that there was one person that would do this service, and they were way, way far away. I think they were saying down near Vancouver, Washington. And so what I did is just have my inspectors issue a notice of violation, and that put the onus on us to check back in on them, and then we would still give the sticker because we didn't want it to be 100% unreasonable and burdensome for the vendors. It didn't take us long to discover that there were RV dealerships that were more than willing to do this service in close to Seattle. And so that language was definitely not intended to be used as an argument for relaxing restrictions.
Okay. Well, thank you for that clarification, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I see Roger's hand.
Yeah, I have a question for Ken and maybe for Shada. You said you did some investigating in the Seattle area. Given that this is statewide and it appears the concern is statewide, do we know if there are what level of inspection available
Yeah,
in
I'll
other
answer
parts of the
that.
state?
I'll
Okay.
answer that, Roger. So I talked to Karen Grove today, who's on the board of the Washington State Association of Fire Marshals, and they have polled their membership, and they have also made a determination that there's not an issue with the people being able to provide this service. So the state fire marshals as a group seem to not support this and would just like to continue the enforcement of it.
Can I make a suggestion? I know that we're going to have to address this as the council at the next meeting because it's an emergency petition. Somehow these people are having concerns about it. Is there some way that people that can do this the list gets published somewhere, somehow by somebody other than this SBCC? Just so people are aware. And I think that that's outside of this meeting and probably the SBCC meeting, but it's obvious there's a question or concern, and you're suggesting that there are plenty of people that can do this, so there isn't an issue. Just trying to help resolve a potential question.
Sure, what I'll bring it back to our staff and just say, is it possible for us to compile a list? I can't do one statewide, but
Yeah.
maybe for the city of Seattle, we can look at the people that we reached out to and provide a list, but I can't offer up that we would do it statewide. I could ask the Washington State Association of Fire Marshals if they're willing to put something like that together to help out, but I can't guarantee anything on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that was helpful. I'm glad we went into that a little deeper. Any other comments? Okay, I don't think there's any action here, I believe, right?
No.
Okay, I see Roger's hand.
This is other business, or actually it's
Let's
going
move
back
another business. Go ahead, Roger.
going back to number 4, maybe. I just want to clarify, Dustin, I've been looking on the website trying to find where things are at. And it's clear to me if somebody wanted to do public or oral testimony, if somebody wanted to do written testimony, they would fill out the form, check written, attach a document saying, here's our written comments, and then send it to the website in the form. Is that your intent?
Yeah, I mean, so the way we've received comments in the past, there's no specific web form that we've used for delivering comment, and I would be interested in getting that on, but I have to work with WaTech to have them write the HTML for that. But typically what we've received in the past is emails with attachments to it, and that's what we've been receiving so far. And so I'll be working on the testimony form to make it hopefully make it more clear what is actually being submitted and how people are engaging with us. So I'll be doing work on that after this meeting today.
Thank you.
Okay. Only other business, I just want to let's see, Dustin, we've had a request from local government committee on June 11th. I had a chance to talk to Representative Dewar and ask what she would like to see at that meeting. I'm on travel and I'll be in Olympia for the hearing on the 10th, and so I volunteered to stay on the 11th and update the local government committee, and then I'll come to Spokane for the hearing on the 12th. So just want to make that public. Okay. Is there anything else? If not, thank you all for your time. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.